Maddie, and I am your weight loss expert for today. And I want to tell you a story about how to eat food at events. So this is a question I get a lot, and a lot of people are just wondering, how do you handle events, right? Because a lot of the times when we think about weight loss, we think sacrifice, right? I have to sacrifice fun, I have to sacrifice my life while I lose weight and get results, then I can kind of go back. And while sometimes that holds true, there's always give and takes and some sacrifices. For the most part, no, you do not have to put your life on hold for weight loss. So let's dive in. So this past weekend, I had a wedding to attend. And this was an East Indian wedding. Anybody who knows anything about those weddings, they're crazy. There's lots of people, lots of food, lots going on. So I went into it with a plan, okay? Because if you don't plan, you will fail, right? Or you will be caught off guard, something unexpected will happen, and it will throw you off. So I went in with my own plan, okay? But funny story, we finally got there, right? There was cocktail hour, we were standing around, and then there was, then the reception started. So we sat down, my whole family, there was probably like 12 of us, we all had our very own table. We were sitting down, we were chatting, having a good time. We were getting really, really hungry, and food was served right away. Food was served right away, right? And I don't know if you've ever been to weddings, but I've never been to a wedding that's been on time. They've all been late. So food was actually served on time, and everybody was getting these big plates of food. So my family went to get food. I didn't go yet. I was still talking to somebody. I was kind of keeping busy. I had gum in my mouth because I didn't really want to eat just yet. And anyway, my family came back with, they each had these little plates piled with food, and there was fish, there was chicken, there was lamb, there was French fries, there was this, that. And I was like, holy smokes. Not only did they serve lots of good food, they served it right away on time, which is crazy. And then I was telling somebody that at my table, and then they're like, oh no, honey, those are the appetizers. And I was like, oh my goodness, if these are the appetizers, if this is the cocktail hour food, what the heck is gonna happen for dinner? And so I was just blown away at the amount of food that was gonna be at this event. And it just made me think of all the ladies in my community, right? It doesn't matter sometimes how much you prepare, you're totally thrown off. And in the past, before I lost my 80 pounds, I would consider myself having, binge eating issues. I would just eat and gorge. And as soon as I start, I couldn't stop. And because it was in front of me, I had to eat it. And so if I was old me in that situation this past weekend, I would have gone straight up, piled up an appetizer plate, huge, overflowing, pakora falling off. Pakora are like fried food in the Indian culture. Pakora falling off my plate on my way to the table to eat it, and then I'd probably go back for another plate of appetizers, and then I'd be full on the dance floor, kind of like falling asleep, sweating because I was getting full. My dress would start to protrude a little bit. And then don't even get me started on dinner. 2 plates for dinner, 2 plates for dessert, plus drinks. And by the end of the night, I would feel disgusting, sweaty, really uncomfortable because my outfit was now tight. I would have been really tired. And then the next morning would have been a write-off, right? Super lethargic, super full and uncomfortable, contemplating whether or not I should go for a 2-hour run or skip all my meals that day to compensate for the overindulging in food. And my point here is this. If you've ever been in this situation, if you can relate, if you're somebody who, when you go around food, you kind of start thinking or noticing food more or wanting it, or because you've been so restrictive in the past and you always say, I'll start next Monday, when you do get exposed to food, you go all out because in your mind, you don't know when you're going to get it again, or you're about to cut it off for a while you try to lose weight. But this is your reminder. I want to tell you, that's not how the story always has to play out. It just takes one time to rewrite it, one time to do one thing different, to prove to yourself that you do have power, that you do have control, and that this habit can change. It can look slightly different. It doesn't have to be like a broken record every time and you leaving an event stuffed, full, and grossed out at yourself. It doesn't have to always be that way, because when I left the wedding, I felt amazing. I still felt cute in my dress. I still looked great. I didn't have to suck it in. And I got to eat the food that I love. I didn't overindulge just because I could. Just because it's there doesn't mean you need to eat it. One of the best things that I do and that all the ladies in my community do that has really helped me and them take control back over food and stop is just ask yourself, do I want this? Do I need this? And then the next question is, why do I want this? If you just take that two-step process before everything that you eat, what it does, it just brings you centered. It brings you right back. Instead of putting us into our animal brain where we're like, eat. Yeah, right? You ever see a dog eat when you put the food down and they go crazy and then you try to pull the food away and they kind of attack you? They're like, no, I'm not done yet. See, we have that same animalistic brain when it comes to food. We hyper-focus, we obsess, we can't stop. And that's just, it doesn't have to be that way. It really, really doesn't. You ask yourself, do I want this or do I need this? And for me, in that case, I wanted it, right? I wanted that food at the wedding. I wanted it, right? Because I wasn't going to get exposure to all this food again, and I wanted it, and it was different, and I wanted to enjoy the occasion. So I wanted it. And then every time I went to go eat something, every time maybe I went to try something new or to get up for another plate, I'd ask myself, why do I want it? Do I want it because I am hungry? Do I want it because it's just there? Am I actually hungry? Because if you follow this rule, eat whatever you want, whenever you want, and as much as you want. If you follow that rule, but the only caveat is you stop eating when you're full, game over. Game over. You will stop overeating. And that is the first step in losing weight if you're struggling on the nutrition side of things. You are overeating to some degree, whether it's too much food or too many calories. Right? Calories and food volume look different, right? Because some foods, they can come in small portions but have way more calories than foods that come in bigger portions but have less calories. So you're either eating too much food or too many calories. And so just by stopping overeating and being present before you eat anything and just saying, do I want it? Do I need it? And then why am I wanting it? Is it because I'm still hungry? I still want to try it. And if you're just giving yourself these mental touch points along the way, you're going to be more present and aware of your actions instead of just switching into animal mode and then shoveling food in your face until you're piled up to here and you're going to puke. Or you now look 3 months pregnant at an event that you're trying to hide every time you sit down, or the angle you take in your pictures, or you bring a shawl to cover up it because you're going to eat too much. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay, and I can tell you from experience, I have left so many events, not just weddings, parties, gatherings, family, house parties even, and beach parties, all these social events, even just, plain restaurant dinners, where I was ready for a nap. I wanted to unbutton my pants and take a nap. And that's wrong. That is wrong. That is not what we eat for, right? We're not eating to make ourselves feel it. We're eating to fuel ourselves to keep us alive. But that feeling that it usually gives us, that's not a good feeling. So we're doing something wrong. And so I really just want to hammer home to you, just because food is there does not mean you need to eat it. You can eat whatever you want, whenever you want, and as much as you want, as long as you stop eating when you're full. Just start with that simple cue, and it really makes a difference. And you get proud of yourself, because I felt so proud of myself walking out of that event with my head held high. I wasn't taking shorter steps because I was full. I wasn't walking side to side because my belly was full. I felt great. I wasn't hiding my belly. I wasn't hiding anything. I felt excellent, and my tummy was perfectly satisfied. And you can have that feeling. You can have that feeling. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it gave you some hope. If you want to get more tips and tricks like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, turn on that notification button so you get notified when I release more videos. And if you want to learn more about the Fit Queen way of weight loss, you can visit www.fitqueen.com. And I will see you on the next video.